Let's get in. Let's get in the wet. Oh, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Man. Should it be higher? Should it be lower? Should my mouth be closer? I don't want to blow the mic out. We'll bring it higher and closer. 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's go. Long time coming, man. This has been a huge project. We're going to get into the whole show stuff, the whole, what is it? Kit and caboodle? Kit in a bottle? We're going to break it down. We're going to get into the return. We're going to get into the welcome back. It's been 3 years to the month. We're going to get into the new stuff. We may talk about some of the old stuff, which doesn't exist anymore. Except for the people that are still downloading old episodes from 3 years ago. And I understand it because I've been finding rabbit holes as my new fetish. And I've recently fallen down the Kevin Samuels rabbit hole, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious for 70 different layers. But this is not a relationship show. This is a combat sports museum show. This is a combat sports Hall of Fame snapshot show. This is the Commando. I'm your host, Mike David. Welcome to something new. I almost forgot where the camera was for a second. Welcome to the Commando Magazine podcast show. It's a lot of different things. I'll tell you one thing well, it's not really complete, but it's complete enough. You know, they're probably like, when he's going to start the show. The show has started. This is the show, and we're going to get into the magazine portion. We're going to get into the MMA portion. We're going to talk tons of MMA, but this isn't like every other show. Everybody's eating up the same new information, giving their perspective. We don't care. And I'm a fan, and I'm a fan. You got show hosts talking about fighter stuff like little girls. I've been to real fights, regional fights, and it's a beautiful thing. No one cares about half the stuff that a lot of these media outlet, quote unquote, MMA factories talk about. This show's not that. I mean, I guess so. I will get on my soapbox, my little small soapbox. But this show is about the appreciation, the newfound appreciation for the actual athlete, the person, the one that's giving us their body, their soul, their time. This is for them. This show is for them. This is a fan basically saying thank you. But I put it in a museum form. I put it in a form that's informative to people that don't know anything about MMA, who love MMA. Excuse me. This is a time when everyone's getting sick, and I've caught it. I've gotten it. And the thing about it is, which makes me kind of grateful, whether I caught it on the plane or not, I really started to feel sick after I landed, headed to Arizona about a week ago. And the whole reason I went was to go to Seoul. I'm fucking it up already. To go to Samurai Seoul FC. It's like a traditional Muay Thai kickboxing. You got elbows, you got knees. They don't have the. I think traditional Muay Thai has headbutts. Don't quote me on that one. Traditional Muay Thai is it's very bloody. It's very brutal. But this is Americanized, modernized, paying respects to traditional Muay Thai. And Samurai Seoul FC, for someone sitting in very close range, loved every minute of it. There's a traditional sense to it. They walk out to the ring. They have their headband, their head garbs on, representing their traditions. They can basically they can characterize their persona as much as they want, headed up to the ring. And I loved it. I love the walkout songs. Hip-hop songs I've never heard in my life from homegrown artists, from traditional music. And this is the thing that kicked it. And we're going to get into the whole sick thing. But the thing for me was, during every match, being it is traditional Muay Thai, they play this music like you're sitting in the, for anyone who's seen Bloodsport, it's like you're sitting so close to the next guy. Wasn't the actual place where it was Glendale. I don't know, sports arena. I don't know where it was happening in Arizona. I should have that information in front of me. But it was a nice sitting arrangement that felt like you were in Thailand. From the music, from the audience and random people screaming, "Neum, knee!" It was hilarious. I was screaming myself for people I had no clue existed before the event. And I loved every minute of it because it's the combat sports fighter experience. It's the athlete experience. I came for the athletes. And I enjoyed it. Let's get into the show. This episode is supposed to be super short as well. This is a tester episode. This is a preview episode. To shoot it the way I'm shooting it and the quality that I'm shooting it, I'm pretty sure this is not like every other. The amount of storage taken up from the high, I would down res what I'm doing, but I refuse to. I've seen too much garbage on the internet, and I refuse to downgrade the visual quality or the audio quality. It's probably to my detriment. That's okay, though. This is the separation. Now, if you're experiencing this for the first time, like anyone who is watching this is experiencing or listening, is experiencing this for the first time, this show is available in several different layers. This show is available as an audio podcast package that you can get from your favorite audio podcast apps. This show is a visual magazine or a visual interactive MMA combat sports magazine that you could find online and you can explore yourself. The things that are going to be described in this episode today, you can explore yourself at movierolls.com. I'll spell it for you at the end of the show because it's a beautiful word to spell, but it's pretty repetitive. But it's easy. It's pretty easy. And it's not spelled traditionally movie roles. But we'll get into that later in the show when we hit that one of those pages within this digital magazine I'm speaking of. Now, if you are listening to the audio version of this, I would try to be descriptive and informative as possible, just in case you're not on the toilets listening and skimming through this at the same time, because we definitely don't want you driving through traffic looking for the visual version of this. That's why it's created in the visual version, so you can check it out later. Let's get on to the visual version, which is the second version, the digital magazine. As I stated before, you could go to the homepage of movieroles.com and see it. It'll lead you right to the Commando homepage. Not only can you view the magazine there in slide form for free, the preview edition is available in the interactive form as well for free. And you can find it there. The third form that will be available in is video. I didn't think I was going to do video, but I'll just say my mind has been changed. The time it takes to render this type of content by yourself at whatever quality that part is just quantified. It's a long time. For an hour of content, you better add 2 to 3 hours of editing and making sure it even is a representation that you even want to put out as content. I'm talking about all this other stuff, and I'm supposed to be hurrying up. Let's get through the show. Now, we're not going to go too fast through this magazine, but we're going to go pretty fast because it is a preview edition. It doesn't stick to, well, I mean, in a sense, I've created certain content, certain pages that will actually, to me, it will live past whatever present news is being shared. I like to create the type of content that whoever can experience it or re-experience it, it has nothing to do, or interrupt, should I say, with modern MMA and combat sports. It's more to do with the legacy of the people who may still be competing in combat sports, and obviously the ones that are no longer competing. Sorry if this is going up and down. I need to learn better mic placement. Now, if you're experiencing the video version, we're going to dive through this magazine. Right now, you're seeing the cover. This is the cover of the Commando. Welcome to it. Welcome to a new experience of expressing MMA through the fan lens, through my lens, my perspective. For a long time, and again, for those that are still downloading the older episodes, by God, they're horrible, but I still appreciate it. But then you would also know where we're coming from, that it took us 3 years. My confidence fucked with me on this one. So I had to come with something much, much different as far as a representation. So if you're looking for past episodes of the interactive magazine, they do not exist. They don't exist. This is the first one of its kind. This is that I know, and I think I know a lot. And there's a lot of shit I have no clue about, but this is the first one of these. And for those that join, those that become the very limited founders, we'll talk about all that stuff later. I will do something for the people that have been listening for so long. If enough people become founders when people become founders and our goals are met, I will create all past 8 editions as a thank you. I don't know if I'll make it private or public, but as a thank you for helping create something that I've worked on for years by myself. Once you understand what this package is, I will recreate and release them in physical form. Again, we're rushing into something. We're not even at that page yet. Shh, we're not there yet. But this is the cover. Welcome to the Commando Magazine. Welcome to the Museum of Mayhem. Kind of corny, huh? Yeah, I know. It's okay. This is disclosure, disclaimer. This magazine is made for humor and satire. I'll leave it at that. You could read through the rest yourself, but if you are offended by this magazine, you can either call your mother or you can call the number at the bottom of this page. Moving on. Here goes the cover. Here goes the cover athlete we would like to clap it up for. Yes, Bilal. Remember the name Muhammad. This one is for you, buddy. Why? Someone's asking, why? Because one of the most hated individuals in combat sports, if you don't know who Bilal Muhammad is, that's one thing. But if you know who Bilal Muhammad is, a lot of people he is a great athlete, and for no reason they hate him. But guess what? He still became welterweight champion of the UFC. It ain't easy. And he did it on an incredible, jumping too forward here, but I think like a 9-fight win streak or something crazy like that. Against a killer named, it doesn't matter, this is about Bilal. We'll get into that later. But he did it. So this one is for the bully, Bilal Muhammad. Now, this is a sponsor page. I'm going to keep it brief on this because we already have a commercial and all that other stuff that describes this game pretty well to me. But shout out to H2I Studios. Shout out to the Stadium, a sport odyssey. This game is, I don't want to say it's intimidating at first, but once you look at it, you're like, what is this game? But it's so intriguing that once you start playing, it's addictive. It's one of those games that you could probably finish in about 20 or 30 minutes. Spitting on the camera and I'm just spitting everywhere. You could finish this game in about 20 or 30 minutes and you'll want to run it back just based on either how close it was or maybe you just started to get the real hang of it. This game is enjoyable. Tabletop game. Wife could enjoy it with her son. The son could enjoy it with his daughter, teaching her about just game mechanics, football. When football season is over, during football season, this game should remain on the family table, the game table. It should remain in grasp. This game should remain out. This ain't like Monopoly. This is better. You have a dispute in the household, pull this game out, whoever wins, that's how you end the dispute. This game can save marriages. Check it out, Stadium, a sport odyssey. Now this is the thing here, for those that are listening. In the audio version, the commercial is about to drop. Actually, through all versions, the commercial is about to drop. But before we drop to the commercial, the thing about the interactive magazine is if you want to learn how to play Stadium, you go ahead and tap setup. Visually, if you have another device laying around, which everybody has multiple devices, you sneaky people, you can go ahead and scan that QR code, and then you can view the video to set up. And I'm going to show you something special in a second if you're looking at the video version of this. So I can show you how to use the magazine at the same time. Just making sure my computer didn't cut off. We're going to click and see the video. Also, the phases. After you set up, click on phases to see how you play this game and become a champion in the house. So check this out. Welcome to Stadium. Oh, sneak little, you can tap on the Stadium box in the middle. Boom, for the visual people. It's hopping right to check out the actual website. Check out H2Y's homepage. Moving on, since this is just a preview episode. Got to remember to put the moving on after the commercial. Here goes the inside cover. The inside cover is for the one and the only Alex Poatan Pereira. Now, as I'm recording this, because I keep a earpiece in my ear 24/7, listening to MMA content, Alex Pereira is moving up to heavyweight. Or, hey, you know what? I can't even say that. I retract from saying that. Alex Pereira has vacated his title. He may be moving up to heavyweight. He may be moving back down to middleweight. There's things to handle in both directions. In his division, he's like, I did this already. And this is my second time doing this. You can have the title. Anyways, the inside cover is about Alex Poatan Pereira, a real-life Terminator. We're going to get into him. We're going to get into why he's in this episode of the Commando Magazine. Next up, it's like I'm spinning plates here. It's like I got to worry about 20 different things recording. It's scary. Here goes the page. Here goes the advertisement page. We're not going to click into it because I'm going to make it live once this episode goes live. So this is how, because we've taken this long and we're still not finished. Yes. But this is the advertisement page. If you want to have access to the archive, if you want to have access to the museum at all times, show your family, show your friends, there you go. That's how much monthly. That's what? Nothing. Now, I'm not going to mention the price here because this price is going to change. No, it's not going to jump. It's not like a stock market price, but it actually is in some sense. Because once we hit certain goals, this price will rise ever so slightly. So those that get in early, thank you. That's the appreciation and the thank you for those that get in early. Anybody have like a AT&T service for years, and then you're watching a commercial, and they start giving these amazing prices to new customers? What the fuck? Hey, what do I, chop liver? It was my appreciation price. This is the appreciation price. That's why it won't be spoken. Because it's appreciation for those who adopt early. Thank you in advance. Next page up. Now this page is a special page. Again, I won't speak too much about this page because audio-wise, it's informative to let you know. Head over to movierolls.com if you want a very limited time, I want to say experience. Because once it's available and once it's all ordered, it's all gone. And it won't be created again. And my goal here is to create a marketplace where that once these custom boxes that this page is talking about, once this custom experience is created for the early adopters, I want to create a community between those early adopters and the open community. They can share or auction off these limited edition custom products, magazines, cards, things of that nature. Don't want to talk too much now because all the details will be coming later. This is just more to be informative. But we are creating custom experiences, custom boxes for 1,000 founders. Now, I don't want to speak too much about it because there's several ways I think I want to do this. There's one way I think I'm going to go with this. But most likely, like I said, once they're created and they're taken, they probably won't be created again. And these will come out in batches. And then sooner or later, I'll stop. When, I don't know. Moving on. As I said before, welcome to the Commando. I am your host, Mike David, if I didn't say it before. And this is the Commando Magazine Podcast experience. Now, if you're reading my editor's note, as I said before, I try not to, I won't give away too much on the audio because I want you to experience both uniquely. But this is to the dedicated. This magazine is, as I said before, for those athletes that exhibit such a passion for MMA, a passion for life. This is for them. We're about to get into the table of contents, and then we're going to get into the magazine. We're going to give you a brief walkthrough, and before I give you this brief walkthrough, we're going to get into a little MMA, a little current MMA. Like I said before, Alex Pereira has vacated his title, which means he's moving and he's moving up or down. And now, if he's moving up to challenge for that vacant title that Aspinall is probably giving up or has been asked to give up, or is just, it's an interim heavyweight title might be being created to welcome Aspinall back. Now, the question is, who would be fighting for that vacant either interim title or heavyweight title? Because for the light heavyweight title that Alex Poatan is saying goodbye to, Carlos Ulberg and Yuri Prohaska is stepping up to the plate for. Now, if Poatan is moving up to heavyweight to fight John Jones, this is speculation, because I personally, maybe it's that, and I guess most likely it's that. But what if, because there's been a lot of rumblings at middleweight, what if he's moving back down? It's all a possibility. No one's released any concrete information. And then who knows who John Jones is fighting? Again, unless that'd be a beautiful fight. If John Jones is basically like, hey, Poatan, we can make a real money fight. Come up to heavyweight. And then whoever wins that sees Aspinall. That's that's just the current forecast, because who knows if any of this works out? Who knows if Tommy Aspinall even returns? Now, as far as current cards are concerned, I wanted to name this. I might name the like a sub episode. We got these sub episodes we call sit reps. I might call it I Had a Dream, Loney Kavanaugh beat Moreno. That's the honest truth. I had a dream. Now, I don't know if the dream was, it was blurry. I just know he won, but I don't know if it was a dream of him doing his little fancy, well, I can't say fancy because that shit looks hard, doing his little Power Ranger backflip. But I should have bet on it. Now, I will tell you, and this is something that's already happened a couple weeks ago. I knew Sean Strickland was going to beat Anthony Hernandez. Now, I can't say I knew that like I'm Nostradamus, but I knew that the betting line and that the fact that Sean Strickland wasn't the favorite or he was a major underdog. Who's setting the line for this? It's obviously not an MMA fan or anyone. Okay, I don't want to say someone who doesn't know anything about MMA, but if they're saying that Roman Dolidze is in any comparison to Sean Strickland, and I mean that to say that what Anthony Hernandez did to Roman Dolidze was almost criminal. Now, I have to check I could check it now, but we're going to move on. But I don't even know if Roman Dolidze has come back to the octagon after the I don't know how you would say, I don't want to say humiliation, but the way that Anthony Hernandez manhandled him. It was kind of humiliating. If you've seen what happened, it was humiliating. Hence, maybe Roman Dolidze's been back once. It's not like I've been checking for Roman Dolidze fights. This is what I'm saying. But I middleweight's a division I watch. I don't think Roman Dolidze getting to the next point. I knew Sean Strickland was going to win that fight, and I have proof that I believed that he was going to win. We'll anybody ask, I'll show it. How about that? As far as upcoming events, I know I'm doing this kind of ass backwards, but this is a preview episode. Once we actually get into this magazine, I'm gonna probably run through it. But upcoming events, the BMF titles this weekend, March 7th. I believe in Vegas. Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway. I apologize. I believe you're supposed to say Max Holloway first because he has the title. Sure. Max Holloway versus Charles Oliveira. Should I say it better? Max Blessed Holloway taking on Charles Dubronx Oliveira. Should be a pretty good card. I couldn't tell you at the moment who's fighting. My focus has been mainly on Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira as far as a match, a bout. I don't, as an MMA fan, if you love UFC, you love either one of these. You love probably both of these fighters if you're a UFC fan, right? So having them fight is, it's expected that this will be one of the most entertaining fights in history. But then also, if you have your favorite, this is one of those fights where you're afraid for the outcome, the possible outcome, right? We all never thought we would see Justin Gaethje get slept the way he got slept. And then we all wish we didn't see Charles Oliveira get slept by Alycia the way he got slept. I mean, so my brain tells me Charles Oliveira is he's going to have to slow down the pace of Max Holloway. And I don't know if that's I don't know if Max Holloway operates that way. So let's check out this card real quick. I'm going to tap into ESPN. Let's check out this card. Okay, so we got Max Holloway versus Charles. We got Kyle Bahalio versus Rainier de Ritter. Rob Font versus Raul Rosas. Wait a minute. Rob Font. It's one of my... Rob Font's the... Whew. Rob Font's the shit. This should be a very good telling for Rob Font and where he is in his career, as well as Raul Rosas Jr. Now I'm just going through the card, but this brings up one of the feelings I've been having lately about what the UFC is doing to its current roster. Now, one of these shows, I'll try to do some calculations because I've been thinking about doing a custom analysis on what $7.7 billion can do to an industry as far as quality control and what the product has to turn into. Because you don't get $7.7 billion. And again, for anyone thinking that Paramount has given $7.7 billion to the UFC, you would be highly mistaken. The UFC has not received $7.7 billion from CBS Paramount. It is a deal for 7.7, which means deals can be broken, contracts can be broken based on, product quality, should I say. Now, I'm not saying the UFC is going to give CBS a shit product, but the product, again, has to change. The entertainment value has to change. To think the UFC is now fully in control from the outside. If you're on the outside as a fan and you think the UFC or the media, whatever, has fully control of these events now, you're highly mistaken. It doesn't work that way. There's no way I'm giving someone $100, let alone $1 billion, and they're not going to give me something in return besides their product. And I bring up all this stuff because it's to see in the media people questioning Sean Strickland's mic being turned off, people questioning the UFC's choices lately of title contention and who's next up to fight for a belt, and it's because the product is changing. And the media can say what they want about Dana White and UFC, but they're brands. Not Dana White, obviously, as a person, but you're speaking about the exterior of a product or the exterior of a company. The brand is the exterior or the representation of the company. TKO owns UFC. Everybody thinks everybody thinks Dana White is a gangster. TKO, they're the gangsters. They're the ones putting on the Zuffa deal. They're the ones shaking up boxing. UFC couldn't shake up boxing. TKO shook up boxing. You can say Zuffa shook it up or Dana White, and it's TKO. Because I think a man, I'm jumping around a lot, and we're going to get into this episode, but I think a man like Dana White loves money, yes, but there's certain standards and qualities to a man like that, because after a while, money doesn't mean the same thing. And no, I can't speak from the position of Dana White having that much money, but I can tell you that I've had enough much money that money doesn't really mean what it means once you get it. Once you say, oh, I want this goal, and you hit it, then money means something different. You always want more. So not to jump into the whole spiel because of Rob Font, but this fight here, Rob Font versus Raul Rosas, is a clear indication of what I'm talking about. They're bringing in these new lions. It's time to feed. And if these old lions can't, handle their business, then they're cutting these contracts. These people will get paid less. And I'm not saying less in the sense of contracts will go down, but less in the sense of if you're not performing like you're performing, you're obviously going to another organization and you're going to get paid less. But across the board in the UFC, think about it. They're not trying to give these fighters maximum amounts of the $7.7 billion. They're trying to give the shareholders and the owners and whatever other products they're trying to build out that's going to bring them money or more money. Because TKO doesn't just own UFC. They don't just own Zuffa. These are gangsters going after big things. And trust me, when all these fans get all crazy about, oh, they're doing this and Dana White says that. Dana White is in a room with killers and gangsters. You think he cares what some fan or media person says? He isn't literally, and this is, you check it yourself, just check the names. Dana White is in rooms with the top 1% of the top 1%. Of course, a man like that would change. So this isn't about Dana White. This is about TKO. Moving on, since didn't want to get too political. Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. Now, I'm pretty sure in a past episode, the talk about Michael Johnson, this dude still, this kind of proves my point here. Now, these two dudes, Drew Dober and Michael Johnson, are they're the elder statesmen of the UFC. These dudes are journeymen, and this is no disrespect. These dudes bring the blood, which brings the bucks, which means that's why Michael Johnson is sporting a record of 25-19, because he brings the entertainment. Why did Jalton Meta get cut? Because it was a snooze fest, and CBS was looking at the ratings saying, why are so many people changing the channel? Why are so many people in the app either going to another show or cutting off the app? I guarantee you, watching the Jalton Almeida fight against, I don't even know who the fuck he fought, it was that boring that when you fast forward through the fight, it looked like they were in the same position. I talked about a fight like this before. It was Dontel Mays versus, let's look it up. Dontel Mays versus, I've definitely talked about this. And the thing is, Dontel Mays is probably not even listed in these athlete listings. Give me a second. Dontel Mays. Let's look at this. Dontel Mays Tapology. Yep. No, I don't agree to any of that. Oh, you want me to consent first? Sure. Check a box. 1 box. 2 box. There we go. Dontel Mays. Dontel Mays record 11-9. Let's see who he fought. I want to say Mizugaki, but I think that's a different person. There's no way he fought this many times after he fought that dude. Hold on. Oh my God. Augusta Sakai. Let's see. Let's see how many fights Dontel Mays continued to have after his one of the worst fights that I've ever seen against Augusta Sakai. Let's see how many fights they gave him. And they say the UFC ain't, listen, they gave him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They gave him 6 fights after he lost a decision to Augusta Sakai. Horrible. Anyways, moving on. I just wanted to take a shot. I just wanted to take a shot at heavyweight real quick, because it's disgusting. It is disgusting. That a couple of fights have been disgusting. Not to, they should end the division. They should end the division. If John Jones, if the same rotating 5 characters or 4 or 5 characters, and with the, again, all speculative, if Poaton's going up to heavyweight to enter, as a new character, there's only been a couple of like top dudes going around at heavyweight, and it's getting boring, right? It's getting boring. Let me just skim through this card real quick. Now, this Summer Duji versus Jesus Aguilera, that's going to be an interesting fight. I will never bet against Jesus Aguilera. Jesus Aguilar. I'll never bet against that guy again. But that should be a pretty interesting fight. That was weird. Had a little hiccup there. Now, that's the only, looking through the rest of this, Cody Garbrandt versus Zilong. Yeah, it looks like there's a couple. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. Yes, that's probably going to be a banger as well. Yes, I say visually there's about 7 bangers possible. Because I'll be sitting on the couch like, hey, talking to my lady like, hey, this fight right here, this is going to be a good fight. Seconds, minutes, fucking 3 rounds later, it's a snooze fest. She's like, oh, I thought this fight was, yeah. It's like, I know, right? Like, next time I'll keep my mouth shut. This card should be good coming up March 7th. As I said before, I didn't know who was fighting, because we're going to be moving on, but the UFC has been putting these cards on, obviously with the availability of the fighters, but very strategically. I've never been one to get crazy about the fight nights, because I understand that you have to develop, like, what's the whole fucking point, right? You have to give these fighters opportunities to get their Impa Kasanganai moment, right? The head kick knockout, the I'm forgetting the Joaquin Buckley, those moments. No one knew who Impa Kasanganai and Joaquin Buckley were before the head kick knockout, right? You have to give these fighters those opportunities, these no-name fighters those opportunities. Thus, less production, less money, fight night, Apex. Makes sense business-wise, company-wise, for a brand. You give these bigger stages to your fighters that perform the best, and obviously that are available to do so, based on region, sometimes based on visas. I feel like I'm getting out of frame a little. Hopefully that's better. Now let's get back to the episode. Let's really get into the episode. I know I've been kind of BSing. Welcome to the table of contents. So for the first half of this table of contents, just show you a little snapshot of what we're gonna transition through, what these new segments, new topics, things that are going to be a staple here at the Commando. First up, we're going to get into the Commando Sports Must-See TV. This list is pretty skewed at this point because, again, this is a preview episode. This stuff was probably created within the span of the last 3 years. The list changed some. The list stayed the same some. There's probably some names on this list aren't currently relevant, but I'm pretty sure they still are. In the next episode, one of these names has to be, and this is kind of like telling you now because it's not on there, Justin Gaethje has to be on this list next time up. So yes, on page 12, the Combat Sports Must-See TV list. You can experience that there. After that, we're going to get into Highlight 1, which is the page, that's the magazine cover, the bully, Bilal Muhammad. We're going to dive in more to why he's in this episode, why I felt it necessary to create an appreciation of some sort. Going on to page 14, we're going to have the interviews. Select interviews around combat sports, around the internet, obviously, that I thought were interesting for this particular episode. This is every episode, people. This is every episode. This is every magazine. I got to be better on the time codes for the interviews as well. I'm going to start plugging those in there, not only so we can jump to them in the episode, but that, again, for anybody that wants to experience this magazine on their own, you can click into the magazine and experience the time code in the future. After that, page 15, we're going to get into that the Terminator. You can't call somebody in MMA the exterminator. The Terminator, Alex Poitin. We're going to get into why I consider him the Terminator of MMA. Page 16, we have the beautifully violent women of MMA. This is one of my favorite pages because it will fluctuate between 2 and 3, but this go around it's 2. 2 of my, again, specifically women, 2 women that I think are beyond badass, and obviously they have to be beautiful. I mean, I guess most women fighter, I almost fell into a little, that wouldn't have been good. But yes, all women are beautiful, but these women are beautifully violent. Moving on to page 17, we're going to have our third highlight. We're going to call this one Bloodless. We take a look at Impa Kasanganay, post head kick knockout from Joaquin Buckley. We're going to see what happened to him in the PFL and why he's in this episode. After that, the world of combat sports. Another segment, another original segment, only in this magazine, every episode, that I'm an Army kid, Army brat, Army kid, PK, whatever, a lot of different things. This page is why I love combat. And I mean combat in war sense. I mean combat in mental combat. This page is for that. From CIA drones the size of wasp to Ukrainian ex-Bellator champions hiding their belt in war-torn Ukraine. We cover everything on this page. That's combat sports related. It's the world of combat. Next page, page 19. It's highlight 4. This one's it's like an album. You ever listen to an album and they got all these bangers and then they have that one slow song, but the song is so good, right? It's still a hit song. This one this one slows it down a little. This isn't really about the brutality. This isn't really about, the like other highlights. This isn't about the violence of the moment. That's why it's so special. This one is a little bit more heartfelt. Very violent, but still more heartfelt. It's about Gabriel Braga and his father and his tribute within the PFL season. That's on page 19. That's our fourth highlight. After that, on page 20, again, another original page or segment. It's called Salute to the Historical. We're going to show old fight. See, I didn't want to say that. That's why I paused. It's the word I did not want to use. We're going to watch past fights. We're going to watch fights that built the UFC. We're going to watch the fights that built MMA. Not just UFC, Strikeforce, Bellator, PFL. Whatever the PFL was before it was the PFL. One. We're going to cover Pride. Pride was, I think, for me, Pride was my favorite. Besides K1, Pride. We're going to cover the fights that not only made the sport, made these fighters, made them the killers they were developing to become. This is called Salute to the Historical. The ones that paved the way in the past for the ones that are here now. Next up on page 21, we have highlight 5. And this is a special one. This is a tribute or a thank you. Why? It's not really a thank you. Well, it is a thank you. It's a thank you for the entertainment. It's a thank you for these moments in my head that would never leave. It's for the triple dangerous Dakota Ditcheva. Dakota Ditcheva is a beast. What Dakota Ditcheva does to her opponents, well, once we get to page 21, I'll show you the visual representation of what I think she does to her opponents. Let's get into this episode. That's crazy. We're already at an hour and we're barely entering the first page. Bizarre. Now, as we talk about must-see TV, as we talk about people that, if pay-per-view still existed, and pay-per-view does still exist outside the UFC, we're talking about people, this list, I would pay to see fight every time. Whether it's in the arena, if they come to my city, or if it's a pay-per-view. If Alex Poitin came to LA to fight, I probably would pay the admission to see him. That's why he's number 1. Now, again, this is dated because he's no longer the light heavyweight champion. That title has been vacated. But that's my number 1 for must-see TV. Always watch him fight. As long as he's still here. As long as he's still competing. This is the guy. Next up, Alycia Topuria. I've actually seen Alycia Topuria fight in person. I felt very sorry for Volkanovski. Alycia Topuria comes to knock people out. His fight against Jai Herbert was what put me on notice. And I was already on notice before the guy, but it really opened my eyes to this dude is magical with his hands. Next up, and I'm sorry he's at number 3 because I love Charles Oliveira, but do Bronx. Obviously, you know why he's at number 3. You can't get above Alycia. You were knocked out by him, but he's still a killer. Charles do Bronx, he has brought me many, this sounds weird, he has brought me many nights of joy. After I watched Charles Oliveira fight, you get this electricity. I feel like a Super Saiyan. And then I go to sleep and wake up thinking, holy shit, Charles Oliveira really just fucked that guy up. Next up, Yuri Prochazka is number 4. Every time I've watched Yuri Prochazka fight, it's unbelievable. Watching Yuri Prochazka fight is... Who did he do something very, very crazy to? Man. Dominic Reyes. Never mind the fact that when Yuri Prochazka came to the UFC, he stayed undefeated all the way to the title. And now he'll be fighting Carlos Ulberg again for the light heavyweight title. Or again for his he was the former. So again, let's see if he gets it. Next up, Manel Starboy Kopp. Now, Manel's on this list because I followed Manel's career as soon as he entered the UFC. As soon as he entered the UFC, I thought to myself, why is this dude facing Pantoja? This must be one of the baddest guys on the planet to enter the UFC and face Pantoja. And this was before Pantoja was champion, because that's how hype I was on Pantoja. So it makes sense. The UFC brings along someone they think is as a superior combat sport athlete as someone they have that is at the top of their division. And even though he lost that fight, he put me on notice because he has some banger fights. And the dude talks shit. Of course, he makes the list. Obviously, this list will be different next time it is shown. Like I said before, Justin Gaethje. Justin should be on this list. Now I'm a little down. The video's down, but it's okay. We're going to bring it back. Oh, look at that. We're back. It's hot, but we're back. Now let's get into the bully. Let's get into our first highlight of the episode, Belal Muhammad. As I said before, I'm going to run through these pretty fast. That's why it's a preview episode. Even though we're already 1 hour into the show. Let's get through this. This one is for Belal Muhammad. Belal, remember the name Muhammad, claims UFC welterweight title. Now, this is inspired by UFC 304, Edwards versus Muhammad 2. Belal Muhammad wrestled the UFC welterweight title away from England's Leon Rocky Edwards in a dominant display. With relentless takedown attempts, sharp jabs, and unyielding pressure. Muhammad's relentless chain of attacks extended his win streak to 10. I told you he was on a 9-fight win streak. And crowned him champion in one of MMA's toughest divisions. In a performance that could have ended more than just Edwards' career, Muhammad, in true bully fashion, delivered a highlight-worthy pile driver, driving Edwards headfirst into the UFC canvas. This momentous victory underscores the dominance of the bully. And new. Now, I wrote that with a little light word, I'm not the best speller. But I had a little correction on that. But I wrote that. And that's basically what I got from that moment. I've never seen Leon Edwards in that position. I've never seen Bilal Muhammad or any fighter exact that type of revenge. Now, again, it says that was their second fight, and that's because the first fight, I don't know if it was because of confidence. I don't know if it was because of time and skill. But Leon Edwards was putting the business on Bilal Muhammad. And you know what? Maybe in the second fight or the second understanding after doing what he did to Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards kind of was, smelling his shit too much to where he didn't think Bilal Muhammad had it in him. But Bilal Muhammad came for revenge. And there was no stopping him. I mean, towards the end of that fight, Bilal Muhammad almost gave up the draws, but he held on long enough. That's twice. I got to make sure the audio is not dead on this. Okay, next page. Next up, the interviews page, or what I would call interrogations. These are several of the shows that I listen to on a consistent basis or a regular basis, however you want to state it. These are the ones that, depending on the athletes they interview, depending on the information these athletes are giving up, these are pretty good resources for hearing details straight from the fighter, straight from coaches, managers, people within the industry. This is what this page is for. It's for shining light on specific fighters and specific things they say about other fighters, about situations, about the true grind of what it takes to be an elite fighter. One of my favorites, and again, we'll get into this later. I don't want to touch too much on this. This episode would be 10 hours. But Jake Shields' Fight Back podcast is an exploration of a lot of rabbit hole shit. And I don't mean rabbit hole in the sense of it's not true or it's crazy, but it's a rabbit hole that will open your eyes to a real world that we didn't know really existed. Or should I say, the details in a world that we probably knew existed, but didn't and probably shouldn't worry about those details unless you're going to do something about them. But I like, hence why the show is called Fight Back, I like listening to this show. Mind you, my feelings for Jake Shields are kind of, I don't know how to describe them because he still does some typical white man shit. But for what he's doing to platform some of these individuals with knowledge, I respect it. Hey, he's opened my eyes, so I can't talk too much shit about the show. Next up, one of my favorite podcasts that I've been listening to for years, and one of my favorite individuals, Ariel Helwani's show is hilarious and very informative. The relationship he keeps with these fighters or keeps with the MMA combat sports athlete community should be noted. He is a wizard when he gives his interviews, and he's very intelligent on getting things out of fighters emotionally and I guess certain things that you wouldn't hear on other shows. He gives an interview that hopefully doesn't sound like any other interview the fighter has given. And that's one of the reasons why I love listening to the show. Obviously, it's all dependent on the fighter giving the information, but when the chemistry is right, Ariel Helwani it can shine a light on the personality of a fighter you never knew existed. And I mean the personality within the fighter. Next up, again, another one of my, it's on my list. I wouldn't call this one of my favorite shows because one of the Anthony Smith's no longer there, but it's one of the shows that it's up there as far as being informative by people who know what the fuck they're talking about. And that's the Believe You Me podcast. Well, Paul Felder and the champ, ex-champ, the Count, Mike Bisping. This interview is with Manel Kape. Remember the guy from the must-see list? Manel Kape talks about a particular, and that's the other part why I put these here. I'll get into this one and we'll go back up to the top. But Manel Kape talks about something that happened between him and Muhammad Mokaev and why the possibility into why Mokaev was released from the UFC. Now, Muhammad Mokaev and Manel had a little back and forth. And to me, them being two Muslim brothers, it was very interesting on how the whole thing transpired and how Mokaev, at the end of it, concluding it, was released from the UFC probably because of it. Well, he was released after a win, and that's very rarely happens within the UFC. Or if any sport. You don't get cut after a win, unless you're a coach for some college team or some shit. Now, back to Fight Back. The reason why I selected Fight Back, this particular episode, was for King Green. Bobby King Green. Anybody who loves black people, yes, I am a black person. Bobby King is a real nigga. And he just happens to fight in the UFC, and I love it. I think I was listening to a whole nother podcast. I'm not going to say it because I'll list it maybe later. But on a different podcast, Uriah Faber is basically commenting on how he just saw Bobby Green complete 4 blunts. And he's still coherent. That's talent. Anyways, Bobby Green talks about some real stuff on this interview. Why I picked this particular episode for the Ariel Helwani show, it's because of the nerds. The next episode, just a little preview. Our next episode will be a little nerd related, but what the coach speaks about in this episode, about his team, about the nerds, and I want to state it properly, it's the fighting nerds. I just don't want to call them the nerds. They are human kick-ass machines. But the fighting nerds and the coach, very interested in the whole team. Wins, losses, whatever. I guess the hoopla was the whole team was basically undefeated. And that's pretty incredible to have a team of undefeated fighters. I know the Khabib team feels that way. Next page. This is it. The Terminator. Alex Poatan Pereira, with a list of his terminated opponents, a list of his victories kind of displayed backwards in a sense. These are the guys, the former champions, the high-level athletes that this man has run through. Like chicks on tour, this guy means business. Now, this is inspired by UFC 295. Prohaska versus Pereira. This is about the death stare that Poatan gave Prohaska that broke the internet. A moment that captures the Terminator's there we go. A moment that captures the Terminator-like laser focus of the great Alex Poatan Pereira. This death grip stare resembles the unbreakable dedication required to win the light heavyweight title a second time. Now, if you read into that too much, that statement doesn't, you can't understand that statement as when I say UFC 295, but it's foretelling. Because not only did Alex Pereira defend that title against Yuri Prohaska and break the internet with that death stare, he lost the title to Magomed and then demolished Magomed to get the title back, becoming a second-time light heavyweight champion. So why not vacate? I've done this, son. John Jones, you're next, son. Next page. The beautifully violent women of MMA. Veronica Hardy. This is the other thing about creating something like this, because the timing has to be precise enough that these records don't change. And that these people are still alive. But most likely that these records don't change. But Veronica Hardy, as far as watching women fighters, Veronica Hardy is top, I want to say top 10, maybe top 5. Regardless of how the fight goes, and this is maybe just the male in me, I love watching her fight based on how she problem solves. She's, for as small as her stature may be, that brutality of somebody so petite, it just shows you how someone can get it done. Someone with the mindset of, I'm going to do this, can get it done. Veronica Hardy being backed by her husband. It's a beautiful thing to see when your coach used to be one of the baddest dudes in the UFC. Again, a lot of these links are hyperactive links. So you just click on, boom, and it'll take you to her record. Let me just look, that record's perfect. Perfect. I got it. Accuracy, I got it. I hope you guys have fun with this. I hope you guys have fun with this magazine. I created this not only to be, look, see, I accidentally tapped on something just to change the page, and we hopped right into Alycia Baumgardner. That's the second athlete, women's athlete, boxer, women's this is if I had a women's must-see list, would be that version. Alycia Baumgardner is must-see TV whenever she fights. I was on a text thread. I was on a text thread with my cousins, and someone sent over randomly a clip of Alycia Baumgardner beating the brakes off of someone. And my reply was, that's the baddest woman in boxing. And then my cousin replies, no, the GOAT is the baddest woman in boxing. I said, respectfully, no, respectfully. Let me be more specific. Alycia Baumgardner would be crushed by Clarissa Shields, the GOAT. I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's two different weight classes. Either Clarissa Shields is going to come down or Alycia Baumgardner is going to go up. And maybe with age, she'll go up, but I don't see that gap getting filled. Thus, I don't see them ever fighting because of the weight gap. Thus, I believe that'll be a hard fight for Alycia Baumgardner. Weight alone. Thus, now I'm not saying all this in the chat, but I say back in the chat, correction, she is the baddest women's fighter in the world. The GWO has a frame only papoose can love. Now, I didn't mean that as a joke. I just meant Claressa Shields is it's not a small frame. Thus, she is the best at what she does, but she ain't the baddest. If you get my drift, and I guess my cousin, he didn't get my drift. He went on a whole spiel about how the GWO, anyways. Alycia Baumgardner is the baddest women's boxer in history, period. Currently sitting at 17-1. She is outstanding. Holding the, mind you, in the super featherweight division, she used to hold the IBF, the WBO, the WBA. Yes. Next up, Bloodlust. Highlight number 3, I believe. The Bloodlust of Impa Kasanganay. Inspired by the 2024 PFL season and a dramatic PFL light heavyweight showdown, Impa Kasanganay faces near defeat at the hands of Jacob Nitto. With the tantalizing prize of $1 million at stake, Impa's unwavering determination propels him beyond the brink of failure. Channeling an unwielding drive, Kasanganay transforms the fight's trajectory, delivering a stunning second-round TKO to claim victory. This breathtaking moment captures the essence of true resilience and unbridled curiosity in the cage. I think that's unbridled. I don't know why I said unbridled. So, in this capturing of Impa Kasanganay, again, these are interactive, and we're going to take a small look at why or what I was talking about. A lot of people haven't, I'm pretty sure a lot of people haven't seen this fight that are UFC fans. But this was a gem of a match. Now, if you're looking at the visual, the video of this magazine, if you tap this little Berserker award, let's check out why this one is called Bloodlust. Now, X has changed a lot of stuff. They got all this shit that pops up, and they want you to pay for this and pay for that. Now, what you are watching is, and why this matters is, I believe the round before, Impa Kasanganay was knocked down and almost lost. That's why this man means so much, because he came back and not only ignited something within himself, he's covered in blood. Look, as soon as the fight's over, the cut man is at his face instantly. We don't care about this Breaking Bad scene. But his face is bleeding. Now, mind you, this picture isn't Impa Kasanganay. These pictures are all original. These pictures are created, yes, with modern technology, for anyone asking. This is for the expression of the content. But Impa Kasanganay is the reason for this highlight. I think I can go on and tell you, I don't know if he actually won that year that he knocked this dude out. but I think he won the year prior. I mean, we're here. Why won't we check it? This is what the magazine is for. We're going to jump right into it. Let's check it out. Let's see. So, as stated, he did not win that year's PFL tournament. It was the year prior. But he definitely wasn't going to lose that fight because he understood what was at stake. Now, of course, for the title, he had to fight a Russian that was a Russian, and he did Russian things to him. So Impa lost in 2024. Oh, I think I just closed our back at it. Just jump right back into the page. Moving on. Now, this is it. This is my page that I love. This is my World of Combat Sports. You see two things on this page. This is the one that I love the most. Current UFC fighter and ex-Bellator champion, Yaroslav Amosov, recovers his belt defending Ukraine. I love this video. Check this shit out. Wrapped up in towel and a shopping bag. That's dedication. That's obviously an individual that thinks on a level that most humans do not think. One, you are a champion defending your country. Testing. You are a champion defending your country. You are active champion defending your country. That's crazy. Shout out to Alexander Usyk, who did the same thing. Well, he didn't hide his title and go recover it, but he wanted to defend his country, even though he was a champion, making millions of dollars. Those are different type of athletes. Those are different type of humans. Here was another one of my favorites that I found on the internet. It's very interesting as far as warfare is concerned.
Hold the pin. Drop the pin in here. Drop this carefully in there without releasing the handle. Okay, now it's in there. It can't open up all the way. You take this little guy and put the lid on. And now you've got yourself a little remote bomb that you can drop from the 01.
That's crazy. You can. We're not here to promote. I mean, we are in a sense, but we're in a time crunch. You're exploring the magazine? Check it out yourself. Next page. For those who don't have certain connections, we have the QR codes for you so you can hop to that same page. Save for later. Maybe you're in the bathroom. Who knows? You go on the computer later, use your phone. I'm just trying to make it as accessible as possible. Fourth highlight. Braga's tribute. Inspired by PFL 2024 season. In a moment within the 2024 PFL featherweight tournament, Gabriel Braga, driven by the memory of his late father, lost to gun violence, delivers a stunning performance. With a ferocious first round buzzer beater finish, Braga separates Justin J. Train Gonzalez from consciousness at the 4:59 mark of round one. As the crowd erupts, Braga breaks down and looks skyward, dedicating his victory to his fallen father and best friend, harnessing the profound connection between personal loss and triumph in the cage. It was a crazy moment because as soon as he won the fight, he almost understood that what most fighters do, they run to their corner. When it's a victory like that, when it's a TKO, when it's a moment's notice of victory, you run to your corner and you embrace your corner. He ran to his corner, or he thought about running to his corner, and I think he understood within that second that his father wasn't there. I am just speculating, but the way he broke down in tears, to me, symbolizes there's an understanding there. This person that was with me throughout my whole career is no longer here, thus he broke down in tears. Braga's tribute to his father. Next up, salute to the historical. Again, all these pages, that's why it took so long. All these pages are my favorite page. I had so many pages. Then I said, okay, I have to start curating because this shit took too long. So I had to make pages that I not only loved to create, but then it was a reason to make content for. Salute to the historical. Quentin Rampage Jackson versus Vanderlei, the Axe Murderer Silva. Spectacular. Okay. It was a spectacular era. A little accent. It was a spectacular era because Rampage Jackson is one of the individuals who got me into MMA. It was the howling with the huge ass chain on that got me to look at MMA more, or come back to MMA, or keep watching it. He was one of the characters. But Vanderlei Silva always looked as crazy as an axe murderer. Thus, I love watching him fight as well. So this fight, as entertaining as it was, as brutal as it looks and was, this is a thank you. Let's look at a little snippet. Hey, it's free on YouTube.
Okay, guys, protect yourself at all time. Obey my command at all time. If you want to
look at Vanderlei looking like a straight nut.
They don't want to touch gloves. That's a big
This is like their third or fourth time fighting. In this particular fight, their third or fourth time fighting. Woo! Not in the UFC though. This fourth fight just happened to be in the UFC.
Are you ready, sir? You ready?
A couple more seconds and we're gonna go to the next stage. Yeah. This little quote I had here that I took from at the time that the fight was actually going on. It was like a play-by-play. Silva follows a jab with a windmilling overhand right. This is what Tapology wrote at the time the event was happening. That's how.
His technical boxing skills have improved greatly over the last few years.
Look at these killers in here.
Inside leg kick by Vanderlei Silva. Vanderlei Silva would love to get that Muay Thai plum work.
Oh man, what a good fight! Again, for accessibility, there goes the QR code. Scan it, hop straight to the fight. Next up. This is it. The fifth and final highlight, quote unquote, tribute. It's Dakota Ditcheva. Before I even express, well, all this, let's just hop into one of the fight. Let's just hop into how brutal this chick is real quick. Since we're on the video
leads
tip.
are broke. You just don't understand. They don't have the money. They have fear. They just want to do it later. Look,
Don't worry, we don't play ads. Her body strikes are nuts. Her awareness, more in the Muay Thai sense, but her, yes, the knees instantly to the body from the clinch is why I think she would be deadly in the UFC. It's using every, look at that. Look at the head, body. Who remembers the quick six? That's beautiful. And they used the points for winning. So thus, this page is for Dakota Ditcheva. Dangerous Dakota Ditcheva. Inspired by PFL 2024 season, Dakota Ditcheva continues her reign of terror in the PFL. In the women's flyweight tournament, mercilessly cutting through competition. This individual, this particular dedication or inspiration came from her devastating first round TKO of Chelsea Hatchett. Or Hackett. Maybe her name is Hackett. That's a horrible name. Now, we just saw her deliver, it's what I like to call organ shredding, knees, and body crumbling hooks. That's exactly what she just did in that video. It was the timing and space awareness. It was the relentlessness. It wasn't just the term to sit on the cage and clinch because her opponent needed a second, because that's what fighters do. They clinch. Let's get up against the cage. I need to reorganize my thoughts on how I'm going to fuck you up. And Dakota Ditcheva doesn't allow for any of that. An ex-UFC fighter in Talia Santos discovered that the hard way. I thought after what she did to Valentina Shevchenko that Santos was going to have a better fight in the PFL. You know what? Maybe after getting her face broken in the UFC, it made her a different fighter. But Dakota Ditcheva dispatched of her quickly. What do you think? And this is one fight that I would love to see. And maybe the age gap is too wide. But what do you think Dakota Ditcheva would do to Valentina Shevchenko? And actually, that may be the question that ends this page. But that's a pretty good. That would be a beautiful fight for UFC to come through and swoop up Dakota Ditcheva just to hand over, and maybe they're waiting, this is why they're waiting, but just to slide her right into that slot for that flyweight title in the UFC. Last pages, the link appendix. Now, this is updated for the most part. Make sure all this is live once this page goes live. But the link appendix is, for all those pages we just went through, there's links on those pages. Now, if you haven't discovered those links on your own, if you are one of our members, mind you, the membership it's not much. It's almost laughable. You'll be able to access these link pages and explore all the links on the page. Dice's nice little effect for how many links are actually on the page. If any of this stuff doesn't work, if you go to a link and it's not popping up, and it's honestly our fault, please let us know. I'll do my best to fix it. And you know what? For a time, I actually, and this is why the monthly price is kind of laughable, and you find something broken, you find an error in the magazine, email me, text me. The information's on movierolls.com. You see movierolls.com on every single page. Go to that website. Go to the chat box. Let me know what page is broken. Let me know what link is broken. I might give you a free membership. You know what? If you let me know, you tell me what page or link is broken, I will give you a free membership. That's how quality control works. That's why I want to make sure that every episode is up to snuff. You find something broken on the page, let me know. Taking a look at our preview episode for the next magazine. We're running close to 2 hours of show, and we said we're only going to keep it 40 minutes, which is ridiculous. That's why it's a test episode. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sitting here and listening to me drone on. I hope you enjoyed a portion of this. I am a little sick, so my voice does sound a little crazy, a little nasally. But if you listened all the way through, I appreciate it. Hopefully back soon and not more than 3 years. Hopefully it's less than 3 days, but we'll be back with another episode. We'll be back with the Commando episode 10, Revenge of the Nerds. I'm your host, Mike David, and this is the Commando. Thank you for joining.
New Year's? Yeah.